come in.
Hello, my name is Osvaldo. I'm a Harper nursing student. I'm here to do a head-to-toe assessment on you. Is that fine?
Yes, sir.
I'm going to ask you a couple questions. Do you know your name?
Vanessa.
Do you know where you are?
At home.
Do you know why you're here?
Head-to-toe assessment.
And do you know what year is it?
2018.
By the patient answering those questions, I know she's alert and awake, oriented to time, person, place, and situation. Her speech is clear, and her skin color is appropriate. And we took her height and weight. Height was 5 feet 4 inches. Her weight was 120, so we got a BMI of 21. And her blood pressure was 120/80. Heart rate was 70, and respirations were 16. And her SpO2 was 98. So we're going to move on to her head. So I'm going to inspect the size and shape of the head. So I noticed that it's normal cephalic. And I'm going to palpate her scalp for any indentations. I'm going to palpate for any her maxillary sinuses and her frontal sinuses. And I'm going to palpate her temporomandibular joint. You open your mouth. Do you feel any tenderness? Good, go. So no signs of crepitations. Also, I'm going to test for cranial nerve number 7. Can you smile for me? Can you frown? Frown? Can you squint your eyes? Can you raise your eyebrows? So I noticed that her eyes, eyebrows, and nasal labial folds and corner of her mouth are symmetric, and I'm going to move on to her eyes. So for this, I'm going to test for cranial nerve number 3, 4, and 6, which is the 6 cardinal gazes. So just look at my pen. Alright, just keep looking at my pen. Alright, so that test is for cranial nerve number 3, 4, and 6. And her eyes converge and her pupils constrict. Now I'm going to check for perla. So pupils are equal, round, reactive to light accommodation. And I'm going to inspect her nose for any lesions. And I'm going to palpate for any pain. Do you feel any pain or tenderness? No? I want to check for patency. So with your right index finger, can you close one of your nostrils and breathe in? Alright, can you do the same with the other one? Okay. Now I'm going to move on to her ears. I'm going to inspect and palpate her ears for any lumps or masses. And I'm going to also look for the auditory meatus. Okay. Now moving on to her mouth. So I'm going to inspecting her lips. They're dry and moist. No cracks. They're pink. Can you open your mouth? So I notice that her teeth are aligned and her dorsal surface of her tongue is rough and pink. Her buccal mucosa is pink and moist. Also known as a hard palate, soft palate. And her tonsils and uvula are pink and moist. And can you just bring your lip like this? Also known as the gums are tight at margin. And can you open your mouth and lift your tongue up? And the ventricle surface is pink and glossy, and there's no signs of carcinoma on the floor of the mouth. Now can you say ah for me? So I notice a soft palate uvula rise, which is testing for cranial nerve number 9 and 10. And then can you stick out your tongue at me? I notice that her tongue is midline symmetric. That's testing for cranial nerve number 12. Now I'm going to move on to the neck. So I'm going to inspect for any swelling from the parotid, salivary, and mandibular. Parotid, salivary, and thyroid. for any kind of swelling. Now I'm gonna palpate for any lymph nodes. So it's the preauricular, postauricular, occipital, submental, submandibular, jugular-digastric, supracervical, deep cervical chain, and can you shrug your shoulders? Supraclavicular, and her posterior cervical. And now we're going to test for range of motion. Can you look up? Can you look down? Can you look left to right? Now can you go ear to shoulder? Other one. Alright, that's testing for range of motion. I'm also going to test for cranial nerve number 11. And I'm going to put my hand on your head and just press against me. Okay. Alright. Also, I'm going to put my hands on your shoulders, and can you shrug your shoulders? Alright. So that's test for cranial nerve number 11. Now moving on to back to her eyes. Forgot to mention her eyes are sclera is pink and sclera is white and shiny, and her conjunctiva is pink and moist. And now moving on to her chest. I'm going to inspect her anterior and posterior for any lesions. And I'm going to, so I notice her breathing is, rate, rhythm, and depth is regular, normal. And also I noticed that she's not using any accessory muscles. Now can you actually let's do it right there. So I'm going to also take with the diaphragm on my stethoscope. I'm going to show you the locations you have to hear, but I'm not going to listen for a whole full minute. Alright, I'm also going to take from her back. Oh, before I move on, I heard bronchial sounds, bronchial sounds down to the mid-sternum, and bronchiovesicular sounds from the side fluid, and vesicular down from over here. Now can you stand up for me? And can you turn around? Actually, can you sit down? No. Here, can you like turn your back that way? Yeah, like that. Just hold it here. So I'm going to also take the lung sounds in the back. Alright. So I'm going to also take around the scapula. Alright. So I notice bronchial sounds over here, bronchiovesicular and vesicular. You turn around. And now I'm moving on to her apical pulse. And I'm going to listen for her. I'm going to listen for her apical pulse for a minute. For her. Okay, so it's like down the midclavicular to the 5th intercostal space. I would listen for a whole minute here. And the rate rhythm would be normal. And so I'm going to move on. So I'm going to auscultate the valves. So with the diaphragm of my stethoscope. So aortic, pulmonic, tricuspid, and mitral. And same thing I would do with the bell of the stethoscope. So aortic, pulmonic, tricuspid, and mitral. So all S1, S2 sounds were heard. No abnormal sounds such as murmurs or flutters. Now we're gonna move on to her abdomen. Can you lay down? On the couch. So when I inspect, okay, let's do her. So I'm gonna inspect for her contour, which is flat. And we'll go ahead with that and look if it's symmetric. And I'm gonna auscultate over 4 quadrants. I also will check the umbilicus and look for any signs of palpitations. I will listen with the diaphragm on my stethoscope. So all bowel sounds were heard in all 4 quadrants. Now I'm going to palpate lightly. Do you feel any pain, tenderness? Now I'm going to palpate deeper. Any pain or tenderness?
No.
Okay. I'm also going to listen for her aortic artery, which is 2 inches above the umbilicus. And I will also listen to her renal arteries, which are to the right and left of that. And now I'm going to check for jugular vein distension. So can you look that way? And can you look this way? I want to palpate her pulse. I'm going to check for any bruise with the bell of my stethoscope. Alright, can you breathe in and exhale and hold? Alright. Can you breathe in one more time and exhale and hold? Alright. There is no any sounds of bruise. Now I'm going to move down to her lower extremities. So I'm going to check you for any pre-tibial edema and inspect you for any lesions or bruises. Skin is warm to the touch, and I'm going to test for strength in her feet. So there. Can you point your toes to your head? Okay. Can you push the gas pedal? Okay. I'm also going to check for capillary refill in her toes, which is less than 3 seconds. And I'll palpate for her pedal pulses. And meanwhile, I'm here, I'm going to check for the Dubinsky test. Alright. Now I'm test for range of motion. So can you lift this leg up? 5 seconds. Both down. This one up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. And can you bend your knee towards your hip? Now can you go inward and then out? Same thing with the other one. In and out. Okay. Now I'm going to check for strength of her lower extremities. Can you push against me? Can you pull against me? Can you push? Pull. Now I'm going to check for her upper extremities. Can you get up? Sit down. I mean, like sit, yeah. So I'm going to inspect for her upper extremities. So I'm looking for any bruises or lesions. And I'm gonna test for her radial pulses. And I'm gonna check for capillary refill. Which is less than 3 seconds. And I'm gonna check for nail profile for any clubbing. Now I'm gonna instruct you to. Can you stick out your hands out? Now can you just keep with your wrists, put your wrists down? Can you put them up? Now can you do them just again? Now can you just put down your knuckles? Fingers. Down, yeah. Now up, and now spread them apart. Okay. Testing for range of motion. And I want to test for strength. Can you squeeze my fingers? Okay, can you push? Alright, can you pull? Okay, now can you flex for me? Extend. Now flex again. Let's test for strength of the elbows. Okay, can you push against me? Alright. Now can you lift your hands up? Yep, all the way up. Like in a circle? Yeah, now behind your back. Now do the same thing. Behind your back, okay. And now I'm going to move on, so we did this. I'm going to move on to the sensory. So I'm going to test for light touch. So I want you to close your eyes and tell me when you feel it.
Okay. Yes. 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 Yes.
Okay. Now I'm going to do a discrimination test. You have your palm in your hand. This is, close your eyes. This is sharp. This is dull.
Okay.
Alright?
Sharp. Dull. 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 Sharp. Sharp. Dull.
Okay. I'm going to instruct you to, with your heel, you open your eyes. With your heel, touch your shin down. Heel all the way down. Alright. Same thing with your other. All the way down. Okay. Now can you extend your legs for me? Alright. That's testing for range of motion. Can you relax? Test for strength in the lower extremities. Can you push against me? Alright. Can you pull against me? Alright. Now I'm going to check for finger to finger test. So can you touch your nose? And touch my finger? Okay. Yeah? Alright. Go. Now I'm going to check for her deep tendon reflexes. So can you just relax, push back? Checking for her quadriceps. I want to check for her biceps. Just relax. Okay. Same thing in here. Just relax. Okay. Now I'm going to instruct you to, can you stand up for me? And can you walk that way? And now can you walk back, but heel to toe? Okay. Now we'll check for Romber's test. So can you close your eyes and put your hands straight forward? I would come here for 20 seconds, checking for her gait. And can you go open your eyes? Can you turn around for me? So checking for her symmetry of her spine, which is her scapula, gluteal folds, her scapula, gluteal folds, and hips are symmetric. And can you bend over? Checking for her spine spaces. And notice the C curvature of her spine. And this is thoracic is convex, and this is lumbar is concave. All right, you can turn around. Now we can test for range of motion of the hip. Can you put your hand on your hips, and can you move to the right, twist to the right, to the left? Okay, that's good. Now can you do it to the side? Yeah. Okay. And think that that concludes our head to toe assessment.